Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of our nightly Read Aloud. I am Dr. Ivey, and I am excited to be here with you again tonight to give our children locally and all of those that are tuning in the opportunity for a good night story. But we are going to take this up just a little bit tonight. We're going to tie in some engaging activities for not only the children who we're going to call scholars for our time together tonight, but for the parents as well. So this will be an activity that we'll be engaging in for children and parents. And so if you didn't get a chance to check in on the roll call, as I continue sharing just a few additional instructions, I'm going to give you the opportunity to engage in the roll call. I've got a live feed going, so if you'll chime in and tell us your scholar's name, the state that you are represented in, or the city if you'd like, and we'll also need the answer to the warm-up question. So parents, that question is for you to ask your scholar. That would be your child or children. What is one thing that makes him or her feel lucky? What is one thing that makes him or her feel lucky? So I'll give you just a couple of more minutes to write in on the feed below our live feed to give us the answers to those questions. And so like I said, we're going to change things up just a little bit tonight. It was interesting to get all the feedback since last night. And as educators, we love to get feedback. We're used to getting feedback. And so I wanted to incorporate some feedback into day 2 of our nightly Read Aloud. So boys and girls, I hope you had a good day today. I know I had a good day today. Did you get all of your schoolwork done? Did you log into your Google Classroom? Did you do your packets? I hope that you did, and that you've been doing all of your work that is supposed to be turned in. Even though we're out of school, it's really important that you continue to do the activities that your teachers have shared with you. And speaking of teachers, I just want to give a big shout out to all of the teachers locally around our state. They really have stepped up, and they have done something very unprecedented, which is really to change their style of teaching and learning into a way that is definitely different in less than 24 hours. And it's just been really exciting to see all of that unfold on social media, all the sharing among teachers. I know I had an opportunity today to check in with my 2 nieces to make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I want to give a big shout out to Miss Burke, who is my niece Lily's teacher at Millwood Elementary right here in Sumter, just for an impressive job on laying out everything so clearly in the Google Classroom, hyperlinked documents for your scholars to follow. It was super easy to navigate, and I know that your children, your scholars, are so lucky to have you as their teacher. So boys and girls, make sure that you are doing your work that your teachers have assigned you. How many times did you wash your hands today? Have you been washing your hands today? You got to make sure that we're washing our hands and you're keeping yourself healthy during this time that we are in a period of national crisis with what's going on around us and why we're out of school. It's super important, boys and girls, that you are washing your hands. And as my good friend Nurse Davis will tell you, is to dab, destroy all bacteria. So make sure you're washing your hands for 20 seconds, singing happy birthday, whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that that warm water is cleaning your hands. So thank you again for sharing on our live feed. Some of the folks who are joining in, give a shout out to Kaylin from Lexington. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate everybody else who is sharing their feedback in the comments below. Boys and girls, do you know what day today is? Today is the 17th of March. Wonder what is so special about today. I wonder if it has anything to do with our question that I asked your parents to ask you. What is one thing that makes you feel lucky? Well, if you didn't know, and if you didn't hear the music that I was sharing during our early bird activity, today is St. Patrick's Day. And so it is a big holiday in the big country of Ireland, and it's widely celebrated across the world. Do you know what you're supposed to do on St. Patrick's Day? Anybody know? You're supposed to wear green. Well, Dr. Ivey didn't have any green ties this morning to wear to work. I searched my closet. I didn't have any green shirts. So I guess that means I'm going to get pinched, right? That is the concept of St. Patrick's Day. You got to wear green to keep the leprechauns away so that you don't get pinched. But wait, I have on my hat. So I guess I am good to go, and I'm going to keep those leprechauns away. I wonder if that's going to be our theme tonight, something to do with leprechauns. And be thinking about one thing that makes you feel lucky. Well, for tonight's Read Aloud, I have another great book, and actually had a colleague share this book with me, and it's going to go along perfectly with our activity that we'll do afterwards. And so, boys and girls, let's get started on day 2 of our bedtime story Read Aloud. Now, boys and girls, you know I'm a scientist, but good scientists have to first be, because you know the more you read, the more you know. And the more you know, the more places you'll go. So let's get started with tonight's Read Aloud. Let's look at the front cover of our book, and just like we did yesterday, good readers, regardless of your age or what grade you're in, they're always doing a few things before they read a book. Some of the strategies that are very important is to make sure that you can point out all of the different elements of the text before you read it. And so that involves, first of all, making sure that it's a right fit book. Boys and girls, do you know what Dr. Ivey means by a right fit book? Well, it's just like a glove. You don't want to put on a glove that's not the right fit, right? You want to make sure that you have the right fit book, a book that is on your level, words that you can actually pronounce and know the meaning to. So that's a good strategy, is to make sure that you have a right fit book. And do a picture walk, going through the book, and just looking at a few of the pictures. You don't have to look at all the pictures, but just a few of the pictures to see if this is a book that's going to capture your attention. Because after all, that's why we read books, is to get something out of it that captures our attention. Now, this seems like a good book that I want to read. And the title of this book is If I Built a House. If I Built a House. Good readers also make predictions as they get ready to read a book. I wonder what this book is going to be about. Boys and girls, what do you predict this book is going to be about? I want you to tell your parent or someone else that might be next to you, what do you think this book is going to be about? If I Built a House. Maybe you'll share your prediction in our comment section below. So as you're thinking about a few predictions, let's also make sure that good readers identify individuals on the front cover of the book. We have one name on the front cover of this book. It's different than yesterday's book, which had 2 names. I wonder why this book only has one name, Chris Van Dusen. Does anyone know why there's just one name? Well, if you yourself, well, the person must be both the author, the person who is writing the book, and the illustrator, the person who is drawing the pictures, then you are absolutely correct. Excellent job. There's only one author and one illustrator, and in this book, they happen to be the same person. So let's find out what this book is going to be about. If I Built a House by Chris Van Dusen. Jack, all the way in the backyard, said to his mother, This house is just okay, but it's like any other house. It's boxy and boring and basically bland. It's nothing at all like the house I have planned. I wonder what the word bland means. Boring, right? My house, Jack said, is going to be different. And it can't be just the norm. I think about traffic flow and function and form. Oh, it may include shapes like a tower or dome. But I'll focus on what makes building a home. It's the rooms on the inside that make it unique. So step through the door, Jack said, and let's take a peek. I think Jack is up to something. Let's find out. We'll start with the basics, Jack said right off the bat. So check out my all-in-one kitchen omat. You don't have to cook and you don't have to clean. It's done by a space-age robotic machine. It makes all the meals and the food is delish. Then it washes and puts away every last dish. Wow. Have you ever been in a kitchen that does that? A space-age robotic machine? Wonder what foods you would want your space-age robotic machine to make for you if this were your house. The living room is up next, Jack said. It's fun, so come on in. The chairs and the table and sofa all spin, and trampolines lead to a giant ball pit. It's a pretty neat room, you have to admit. Look at the trampoline pit that is in Jack's house. He's jumping into a giant ball pit. Now, boys and girls, let's look at the bathroom. There's no shower, there's no tub. Instead, take a ride on my scrub-a-dub-dub and just step on the belt and it washes you all clean, even the places that you've never seen. Do you notice something that the author is doing to engage his readers in the book? Pay attention to the ending words in each sentence on the next page. And here is my bedroom, Jack said, way up in the sky on top of a tower 200 feet high. With glass all around, just check out the view. A bed in a tower, now that's something new. Look at his bedroom. It's so far up in the sky, 200 feet. The rooms we walked through just moments before are the kinds that you'll find in any decor. But if I built a house, Jack said, I'll add a few more. So hop on the slide. It's time to explore. Do you notice what the author is doing with the ending words? Before, decor, more, and explore. That's right. And he's making the ending words rhyme. You know how I constantly like to create. Well, this is my art room. Isn't it great? You get to draw on the wall, but don't worry, it's cool. Hung way up high on a big giant spool is a huge roll of paper that hangs to the floor. Just draw till you're done, then pull down some more. See the spool, boys and girls? He just pulls the paper down and keeps drawing and drawing. Next up in Jack's house comes my flying room. See how it's tall? It's empty except for a switch on the wall. Then flap like a bird and fly all around. You turn on that switch and you'll float off the ground. Isn't it nice to be up in the air, Jack said? A room without gravity. That's pretty rare. How many of you would like to be in a room with no gravity to keep you on the ground? Next up, boys and girls, this is my racetrack room. So step right on inside. It's less like a room and more like a ride. It features a racetrack that loops all around with super fast go-karts that don't even make a sound. You fly and you flip and you zip and you zoom. You have to admit, it's a wonderful room. I like to ride go-karts, boys and girls. Can you imagine riding in a go-kart that doesn't make a sound? A room filled with water? Now that is something new. But if I, Jack said, built a house, that's just what I would do. This is my fish tank room. Ain't it a sight? But don't worry, they're friendly. These critters won't bite. Just strap on an air mask to swim with the fishes. Now this is a room that every kid wishes. Boys and girls, I want you to tell your parent or the person next to you what words on this page rhyme. Wishes and fishes. Very good. Sight and bite. Excellent job. Let's keep reading. Of course, boys and girls, Jack said, I've been saving the best room for last. And literally speaking, this room is a blast. So welcome. Come on in. I'll seal up the hatches. Get ready. This is called the Plexiglass Playroom. Completely detaches. You fly it around. Why, it even has jets. For me, this room, it's as good as it gets. Look at the Plexiglass Playroom. Boys and girls, the plexiglass is the glass that surrounds this playroom. You can see through it. Jack then says, my house is going to be nifty. My house will be neat. My house will stand out as the best one on the street. Daringly bold, yet exquisitely fine, a must-see example of a modern design. My house will be hailed as a refreshingly new. If I built a house, that's just what I'd do. The end. Boys and girls, wasn't that a great book? If I built a house, have you ever thought about building your own house? What would you put in your house? How would you design your house? Well, boys and girls, we're going to move into our next activity, and I ask that you stay on with me because this is an activity that would be great for you to do with your siblings, your brothers, your sisters, and your parents, but it's also an activity that you can do all by yourself. So I want you to think about today again. What's today? Why am I wearing green? I don't want to be pinched. I got to keep the leprechauns away. So boys and girls, I want you to think about this challenge. And the challenge that I'm giving to you is to catch a leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, it's a nighttime bed story, but you still have time to catch your leprechaun. So how can you create a house to trap your leprechaun? Well, boys and girls, you have this special process called the engineering design process. And this is something that scientists and engineers and artists, musicians, and lots of other professional people use to solve problems every day. So tonight, you get to be a special engineer because you get to help me solve my problem. What's my problem? My problem is to catch a leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day. So this is a family effort. You get to go around your house while you have this time away and we're all staying indoors to stay safe, to do a scavenger hunt, to find some materials that you would use to build your own house that is going to successfully catch a leprechaun. So I want you to be thinking to yourself, how are you going to approach this? What are you going to do to catch your leprechaun? Will you be successful in catching your leprechaun? Well, you will if you follow the engineering design process. So let's take just a moment to look at the different steps of our engineering design process. Well, wait, Dr. Ivey, I already know the engineering design process. Well, I am glad that you do. So let's take a moment to review the steps of the engineering design process and how it's going to help Jack in just a moment. Step one is to define. Well, boys and girls, Dr. Ivey just defined the problem for you. The problem is that you have to catch a leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day by designing and creating your own special, unique house. Step two is to plan your solutions. Step three is to make a model. Step four is to test the model. Step five is to reflect and redesign. And then notice, boys and girls, the arrow keeps going because this is like a cycle. It goes right back to the beginning because good scientists, good engineers, they're always going through the engineer design process to make their model even better. So, we've already done step one to define the problem. Now comes step two is to plan your solution. So boys and girls, if you have blank paper to design your solution on, good scientists, good engineers always take a moment to sketch out their plan of what they are going to do to solve the problem. So that's the first step. And when we're finished, boys and girls, you need to get a blank sheet of paper, or you can actually do this first thing in the morning when you wake up. I'll make that option available to you as well. But you get to sketch out your design of how you're going to successfully catch your leprechaun. All right, so that's step two. After step two is step three, to make your model. And that's when you're going to go on your scavenger hunt with your brothers and sisters or by yourself or with your parents and make it a family effort to use little items around the house to build your trap, to build your house that's going to function as a trap to catch your leprechaun. So you might think of some ideas that you can use to build your house. Maybe Legos, maybe sticks that are in the backyard. It is safe to be outside and to play in the yard. Maybe you have some materials near your house that you can use to build your leprechaun house. But you can also use other materials that you'll just find in your bedroom or around your house, like maybe a toilet paper roll, maybe a pencil, maybe an old shoebox. I don't know. So you got to make your model and then you got to test your model, all right, to catch your leprechaun. So boys and girls, meet our leprechauns. If you are a boy, your leprechaun is McGlover. Look at McGlover. He is happy and he is dressed in green because he is feeling lucky. That was our early bird question, our get started question. What's one thing that makes you feel lucky? He's holding a shamrock in his hand. If you are a girl, I want you to meet McWiggles. McWiggles is the girl leprechaun. So you have to design your house to trap either McWiggles or McGlover. All right? Now, boys and girls, I've already got some models that I kind of put together. A friend helped me, and so I want to give you just some ideas of what maybe one house might look like. I'll give you just a sneak peek. Wonder why there's a ladder. Be thinking about something you want to put in your house to maybe catch his attention. Maybe you want McWiggle's favorite food at the top of your house to get trapped. Maybe it's something bright and shiny. Another leprechaun house trap example that I have. Notice how this person designed their trap for the gold at the end, right? Leprechauns are chasing after the gold. And look at the trap feature. Happened there. Let's look at one more model that we have here. Notice how we have just everyday household items that you can find in your house, so you don't have to go to the store. Look at the gold coins that this leprechaun is going to have to try to go and get. I wonder what happens if he or she, if McGlover or McWiggles knocks over the pencils. So be thinking about how you're going to do that. And so I challenge you to build your house, and I am going to make this a little bit more fun and engaging. We are going to have a winner that Dr. Ivey is going to select, and I want you to build your house. Parents, if you'll take a picture, you can message me the picture through Facebook. You'll get extra bonus points for being creative. Or parents, what will be even better, since we have the time, is to really work on those soft skills with your scholar. That would be communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. To actually maybe record a short video of them explaining how the house that they have built is going to trap McWiggles or McGlover. So I'll be looking for the most creative house that is sent to me through Facebook. You can either send a picture of your child's engineering design process thinking on the paper, or a short video. And there'll be a special prize that Dr. Ivey will be rewarding to the lucky winner. You will not want to miss out on that special prize. And so parents, while we have this time with your child at home, take this opportunity to again be your child's first teacher. This is a great opportunity for you to work one-on-one with your child and actually make it fun and engaging, and support the work of our teachers in the school with a focus on the engineering design process. So again, I'll be looking for those videos, those pictures. And so boys and girls, our nighttime bed story is about to end, and we are right on schedule. We're going to be closing up in just a moment with our final activity. So I want you to, at this time, if you have that blank sheet of paper that Dr. Ivey was asking you to have, or if you have a second device that you can connect to the internet, we are going to do a quick assessment activity to find out who was paying attention. And it is going to be, well, I'm going to give you a sound. And I wonder if you know what this sound is. I bet there are some boys and girls that are listening that's going to know in just a second what Dr. Ivey is going to do for our final activity. Let's find out. That's right, boys and girls. You may have been out of school for 2 days, but you will not forget that sound, because it is time to play Kahoot. So, parents, if you have a second device that is able to connect to the internet, if you will retrieve that, I'll give you just a moment to get that device if you don't have it handy next to you. But don't worry, if you don't have a second device, you can use a blank sheet of paper. We are going to number that paper 1 to 13, and we are going to find out what team out there of parent and scholar is going to be day 2 Kahoot champions from tonight's Read Aloud, If I Built a House. All right, so boys and girls, are you ready? All right. I think you know what I gotta get. It's our Kahoot code. So you're gonna go to kahoot.it, open up a browser. Or parents, you might just do better and let your scholar have the phone or the iPad or the laptop because they'll know where to go. Kahoot.it. So go to kahoot.it, and our code for you to join our closing activity is 642Z. And actually, that code has changed. So I'm going to give you a new code. 808-3268. So let's get a couple of folks to join in. 808-3268. 808-3268. Give a couple of some players signed up. All right, we have our first player, King Ethan. King Ethan, thank you, whoever you are, for joining in. JG, thank you for joining in. Caroline, you are on deck. Brandon, you are registered for tonight's Kahoot game. Come on, guys. B, thank you, B. Whoever you are, thank you for playing along. Boys and girls, isn't this great? Your parent is joining in with you on a Kahoot. You get to school them. So make them do this. Caroline, thank you for joining in. Ben, all right, Ben is in the house. Thank you, Ben. Sylvia, excellent. You are live. Anna Lee, beautiful name. Cody and Harris. I love the team name there. All right, remember, use this time if you don't have that device to number your paper 1 to 13. The code again is 808-3268. Again, that code is 808-3268. Let's get a few more folks to join in. 808-3268. All right, and I see Miss Lyles and Mr. Campbell are watching, but they are not on our Kahoot board. Join in. Ansley, BLB, you are on deck. Excellent job. All right, guys, going to give you one more minute to join in. Miss Lyles, I still don't see you on there. 808-3268. All right, let's start our game. So work with your scholar to answer the question. You have 20 seconds. What do good readers do before reading a book? Do they make predictions? Do they do a picture walk? Do they make sure it is a right fit book? Or is it all of the above? All right, time is up. You got to be quick. And the answer is all of the above. Good readers make predictions, they make sure it's a right fit book, and they also do a picture walk. Anna Lee is in the lead. All right, next up, I'm getting the fingers warmed up. What do we call the person who writes the book? This is number 2. Scientist, author, illustrator, or writer? Remember, it's that person's name. In this case, this book only has one person's name. All right, we have some more mastery on that one. That person is called the author. Excellent job. Let's see who is in the lead now. It is Sylvia. And parents, if your scholar hasn't already given you the heads up, the points are calculated by how quickly and efficiently you respond. So whoever answers quickest and is correct gets more points. So Sylvia's in first place, but Brandon, you are only trailing by 3 points. Let's get to question 3. A book that gives the reader facts can be classified as what type of book? A boring book, a fiction book, a nonfiction book, or a book of facts? All right. Excellent job. I see there might be a few that we need to do some side tutoring on. It is a nonfiction book. If the book gives us facts, good readers will a nonfiction book. All right, Brandon, I think that moment of encouragement helped. You are in the lead with 1450. Sylvia, 1436. Nate, I know you got it in you. You are in third place with 913. And Rady, 738, not too far back. Let's find out what's next. What do we call the person who draws the pictures in a book? Parent, work with your scholar to answer this question. What do we call that person? The author, a scientist, the illustrator, or an artist? What will we call that person? In our book tonight, remember there was only one person's name. All right, everybody that answered correctly. Excellent job. We call that person the illustrator. And we call that person the illustrator. And if it is an illustrator, that means that book is a fiction book. All right, Brandon, you are still in the lead. Sylvia, not too far behind. Brandon, you have a streak with 3 correct answers now. Keep up the good work. All right, boys and girls, tonight and last night's book was an example of what type of book? Tonight's book and last night's book, what do we classify that book as? All right, we classify it as a fiction book. No one got that answer right. Dr. Ivey is going to have to do a better job of teaching the difference between a fiction and a non-fiction book. It is fiction. We can look at the cover of the book and we can tell right away that this is a fiction book. It is made up. It is fake. There are illustrations. All right. Oh, Randy, that's okay. You forgot the N. It's okay. All right, Brandon, you are still in the lead. All right. Next up, what is the first step of the engineering design process? This is what you're going to use tonight and tomorrow to answer the challenge to build that house that traps the leprechaun. What's the first step? First step. All right, the first step is to define the problem. And what's our problem that we're going to solve? It's to build the house that's going to catch the leprechaun. All right, Brandon, you are still in the lead. Sylvia, not too far behind. Randy, you're in 4th place. You are in 5th place. All right, we're almost done, guys. All right, tonight's author used this literary strategy to engage his readers where many of the sentences ended in words that sound alike. What is that strategy called? What do we call that strategy? Onomatopoeia, rhyme, personification, or metaphor? All right, it is rhyme. And I see in the messages the timing might be off. That's okay. Something we can't control on here since we're doing it live, but you get the point. All right, next up. Why is the living room so fun in Jack's house? Why is it so fun? Because there's a giant ball pit with a trampoline, there's glass all around, there's a slide, or there's a racetrack. Why is the living room so fun? In the living room, remember boys and girls, if we go back into the text and we look in the living room, it's so special because there is a giant ball pit and there's a trampoline that Jack can jump off of. All right, let's find out who's next. Brandon's still in the lead. What is Jack's favorite room in his house? What's his favorite room? Favorite room. His bedroom, the kitchen, the plexiglass playroom, or the living room? What's his favorite room? All right, excellent job. It's the plexiglass playroom. Very good. All right, next question. How far up in the sky is Jack's bedroom? How far up? Is it 1 mile high, 200 feet, 5 inches, or 1,000 feet? All right, it is 200 feet, 200 feet high up into the sky. Sylvia, you are now in first place. Congratulations, Sylvia. Brandon, you're not too far behind. Ansley, you're now in third place. Caroline, you are showing out. You are in fourth place. It's anyone's game. What makes Jack's kitchen so special to him? Remember the kitchen that he designed? What was so special about the kitchen? What was so special? What was so special? Do you remember? All right, excellent job. We had majority get this one right. A robot cleans the kitchen. How cool is that? All right, Sylvia, you are still in first place. Still in first place. All right, our next to the last question. What makes Jack's bathroom so special? What makes Jack's bathroom so special? Is it the scrub-a-dub that automatically cleans you? Is it doesn't use any water? Is it because it's 200 feet in the sky? All right, excellent job. It's because of that scrub-a-dub that automatically cleans you. And remember, the author even said it automatically cleans you in places that'll even surprise you. That was his way of engaging the reader. All right, and Ansley, you are now in first place. Congratulations. Sylvia, you slipped to second, but you're not too far behind. B, you are now on the scorecard. All right, our last question. Before building your house model tonight or tomorrow to save the leprechaun, what step in the engineering design process should you follow? Before building your house. So what should you do before you build your house? Should you define the problem? Should you plan your solution? Should you build the model? Or should you redesign your model? Excellent job. Excellent job. Y'all got that one quickly. You plan the solution. That's what you got to do first. You got to do it on a blank sheet of paper to design your plan that you're going to implement. All right. Find out who our winners are. Brandon, third place. Ansley, you came in second place. But first place goes to Sylvia. Congratulations, Sylvia. Sylvia, whoever you are, if you will message me on Facebook, I have a couple of questions for you, but I have a prize for you as well. So Sylvia, congratulations. Send me that message. So boys and girls, as we end our second day of being out of school and doing our nightly read aloud, before you brush your teeth and get ready for bedtime, I want you to think the answer to just a few questions. Number one, what was the best part about your day today? What was the best part about your day today? Tell your parent or your sibling or whomever you're sitting next to, what was the best part about your day today? Well, I'll share with you my best part about today. The best part about my day today was that Starbucks was still open through the drive-thru. They're protecting us and keeping us healthy. But it was the best part about my day because my favorite drink, Starbucks coffee, was still available to me. All right, number two, the question that I want you to reflect on as we bring our night to a close. What was the least favorite part about your day? What was the least favorite part? Oh, Brandon, I'm glad to know that you enjoyed cooking dinner. That was the best part about your day. What was the least favorite part of your day? Oh, Jennifer says playing this game. All right, Layton says that Ansley says her least favorite part was having cake. Okay. The least favorite part of my day today was that I had to go to the doctor first thing this morning. And no, I wasn't sick, but I had a regularly scheduled appointment. And I always hate going to the doctor. But then I have to remind myself, boys and girls, that the doctors are there to help us. And I had a really good nurse who made it very fun to be there. So even though it was the least favorite part of my day, it still had a bright moment of sunshine. All right, our third reflection question. If you could do one thing about today, what would you change? What would you change? Tell your parent, tell your sibling, or tell whomever you are sitting next to, even if it's your dog, tell them what's one thing you would change. What's one thing you would change about today? What's one thing you would change? Well, one thing Dr. Ivey would change about his day today, if I could change it, was raining. It rained this morning. I wish I could change that, but it was just cold this morning, dreary at home. So that's one thing I would change. My last question to you before we bid farewell, what do you hope is going to happen tomorrow? Tell your parent, sibling, tell your fuzzy animal friend, what's one thing you hope is going to happen tomorrow? Well, one thing that Dr. Ivey hopes is going to happen tomorrow is that Starbucks will still be open and I can still get my favorite drink, which is coffee. But if it's not, it's okay. So parents, you get the idea. Remember, you are your child's first teacher. And so this is a great strategy that you can use with your child before they go to bed, whatever nightly ritual that you have with your child. After they brush their teeth and they get ready for bedtime, whether you read a story to them, just take time to ask them about their day. And it's one thing that I've always encouraged the parents to do in my 13 years being in education is whatever conversation you have with your child is just make it meaningful. And so that means staying away from questions that are very quick answers, yes or no, did you have a good day today, that sort of thing. Engaging questions. And so these are some examples of engaging questions that you could ask your child. What was the best part about their day? What was the least favorite part about their day? If they could go back and change one thing about the day, what would it be and why? And last but not least, what's one thing they hope is going to happen tomorrow? So boys and girls, remember, Dr. Ivey wants you to be something, be somebody more. And remember, if no one has told you that they loved you today, remember that Dr. Ivey is telling you right now that he loves you so very much. In all that you do, make sure that you are spreading kindness to others around you. Hope to see you tomorrow. Don't forget to send me your pictures or your video of your scholar explaining their house that they built. There'll be a special prize. So parents, if you will send your child off, I just want to spend a few more minutes just to answer a few questions that and so I'm going to give you just a moment. Your child can go and brush their teeth, get ready for bed, and I'm going to share just a couple of pieces of advice and answer some questions that were sent to me. And this section is called Parent University. So many parents, and there was probably over 10 that messaged me, wanted to know more about how to talk with their child or children about what's going on around them with the whole situation of the coronavirus. And so I thought to myself, what are some words of wisdom that I can share with parents? Now, I may not have kids of my own, but I have had the great fortune of working with thousands of children in my years in the schoolhouse. And if it's one thing that I do know, is that kids are incredibly smart. They're resilient and they are very astute individuals. And so here are a few things that I would suggest as you navigate another day of what is going to become the norm of our new life for the next couple of weeks and maybe even beyond. So here are just a few things I would suggest to you. Number one, don't be afraid to discuss the coronavirus. At this point, we've been out of school for 2 full days. Children are very well aware of what's going on. They've heard about the virus. They probably have even seen people wearing face masks, so parents shouldn't avoid talking about it with your child. Actually, not talking about it can make children worry even more. So look at this conversation as an opportunity to convey the facts and to really set the emotional tone. The second thing I would encourage you to do is to be developmentally appropriate. Remember, I've said several times tonight, you are your child's first teacher. Too much information at first, as it could be overwhelming for your child to take in, but instead just try to answer your child's questions. Be honest, be clear, and remember it's okay if you can't answer everything. Right? Just being available to your child is what truly matters. The next thing that I would encourage you to do as an educator is to take cues from your child. Invite your child to tell you anything that they may have heard about the coronavirus and how they feel. Give them an opportunity to ask questions and be prepared to answer. So your goal in doing this is to avoid encouraging any frightening fantasies. The next piece of advice that I would give to you in our Parent University session is to focus on what you're doing to stay safe. So this is an opportunity to reassure your child, your children, other children that may be around you, to emphasize the safety precautions that we're taking as a society, and really the importance and role that our government is playing in this whole process. So remind your children that they should be taking care of themselves by washing their hands for 20 seconds. Model for them. Take them to the bathroom. Show them how to do this. When they come in from outside, before they eat, after they blow their nose, they cough, sneeze, use the bathroom. If a child asks you about the face masks, explain to them. Be very real with them. There are experts in our government. You can talk about what the CDC is that say they're not necessary for most people, but they are being used as a precautionary measure. So you would want to explain to your children that these are people who are just right. The next piece of advice that I wanted to share, and this was in reference to a particular question that was asked by a parent, was about the importance of routines. Look, I know that you as parents were pretty much given your child back to you instead of having them go to school, but you have to remember that that was beyond our local school leaders' control. That was something that was decided by our governor and our other leaders in government. And so at the end of the day, this is what's happening. Your child is home. It is extremely important that you try to stick to some sense of a routine with your child while we're out. Now, let me remind you, today is just the second day. Tomorrow will be day 3. We're supposed to be home for a couple of weeks, but you have to be prepared that it could be longer than that. So rather than thinking, well, tomorrow I'm just going to start planning a routine, you have time tonight to be thinking about what routines you want to implement. It is not too late. I can assure you of that. Even on the second or third day of school, your teacher is constantly changing things. Even on the 20th and 30th day, they are changing things. But children need routine. They respond well to routine. So no one likes uncertainty, but staying rooted in routines and predictability is going to be really helpful right now, especially since school has been shut down. So making sure that you have designated times for your child to be on their Chromebook or completing their work packets that their teachers have prepared for them. Setting up a schedule on a piece of paper, putting it on the refrigerator, making a poster, hanging it up. Hold yourself and your children accountable for this time that they have, right? And so it's really okay to let them know that, you know, things are going to be different for a while, but I cannot emphasize to you enough as an educator the importance of making sure that your child sticks to a routine over the next couple of weeks. The last piece of advice, and this again was a question that was asked of a parent since last night, was about how much to share, right? And so the most important thing is that in everything that you do is to keep talking. Keep those communication channels between you and your child or children open, regardless if they are just in 2nd grade, if they're in 5th grade, or if you have a high school student. And there are different needs for each different age level. I know you know that. But the important thing is to keep the dialogue open, keep talking. Tell kids that you're going to continue to keep them updated as you learn more information. And it's okay to tell them that if you don't have all the answers right now, but that mommy or daddy or grandpappy or meemaw is going to let you know as soon as they find out. So we'll try to model some of these strategies over the going in on day 3, day 4, day 5 of our nightly read alouds with Dr. Ivey. But I do encourage you to send additional questions to me, and I will do my best to answer, and then I will look for patterns and trends in those questions to share in a future Parent University session. So this concludes our second Facebook Live Read Aloud with Dr. Ivey. I hope that you'll join in tomorrow for our third night. We'll try to continue the engagement level and make sure that a variety of books are being selected for all different levels. But again, remember, the goal behind this is family time. This is a time for you to engage with your scholar as a way before they go to bed for the night. Make sure to connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Facebook and Instagram, you can find me at trevort.ivey. On Twitter, you can follow me at Dr. Trevor Ivey. All right, have a good night. I hope you all have a great, restful evening. And we'll see you tomorrow.